Bernard Tomic held the hopes of a nation on his young shoulders, but quickly found himself trailing 2-0 against 22nd seed Fernando Verdasco. The 19-year-old Australian blew 3 set points in the second and looked to be labouring in the sweltering conditions. After calling the trainer, Tomic fought his way back to level at 2-all. Now it was Verdasco feeling the heat. With the crowd on the edge of their seats, Tomic's forehand was firing in the fifth. He finally broke the frustrated Spaniard to open up a 6-5 lead. After more than 4 gruelling hours, Tomic closed out a memorable victory on his second match point. Earlier in the day, world number 3 Victoria Azarenka was the first player through to the second round. She wasted little time in her demolition of Heather Watson, losing just 1 game. Azarenka will play popular Aussie Casey Delacqua in the second round. On the comeback trail from injury, Delacqua secured her first win at a Grand Slam in 2 years with a straight sets victory over Serb Bojana Jovanovski. 11th seed Juan Martin Del Potro got off to a slow start against Adrian Manarino. He dropped the first set before finding his groove and powering home to win in 4. A tough off-season seems to be paying off for Lina. Last year's runner-up cruised through to the second round with a 6-3, 6-1 win. Defending champion Kim Clijsters showed no side effects of a hip injury, easily winning her opening round. The path wasn't as straightforward for 8th seed Agnieszka Radwanska. She lost the first set in a tiebreaker against Bethany Maddox-Sands before closing out the match 6-2 in the third. Australian wildcard Greg Jones left an impression in his first Grand Slam singles match. He ripped through the first 2 sets against 13 seed Alexander Dolgopolov, but faded in the third. The dog surviving his first round scare, closing out the match 6-2 in the fifth. Rafael Nadal had a routine first-round clash on Hyacinth Arena. The second seed only lost 6 games, setting up a second-round clash with Tommy Haas.
Game, set a match, Nadal. 3-6.
Another record night crowd as Roger Federer started his campaign against Russian qualifier Alexander Kudraevtsev. The first set was a tight contest with games going on serve. The Russian surprising the number 3 seed with some solid tennis. Federer's class showing through as he took the first set 7 games to 5. In the second set, Kudraevtsev received treatment on a groin injury, while Federer was allowed to skip away, taking the second set 6 games to 2.
Not a game and second set. Federer 6 games to 2.
The third set was just as easy, with the former number 1 in the world wrapping up the match in straight sets. The second of the night matches featured top seed Caroline Wozniacki taking on Australian Anastasia Rodionova. Wozniacki put the foot down from the opening point, streaking away with the first set 6 games to 2. It was a similar story in the second, with the Dane seemingly not hampered by that left wrist injury. A perfect start for the number 1 seed, winning in straight sets.
Game, set match. Bosnia-Herzegovina, 2-6, 6-2, 6-1.
The first night match on Margaret Court Arena was an anticlimax as David Nalbandian advanced to round 2 with his opponent Jarkko Nieminen succumbing to injury midway through the second set. There were also a number of day matches that continued into the evening, with Jelena Jankovic through to round 2 with a straight sets win over Laura Robson. It was a terrible day for Great Britain, with 5 of their players losing on day 1 of action.